Welcome back to Let's Play Darkest Dungeon. I'm your host, Timepants, and today I am in mourning. We lost dear, sweet Dismas, who had been with us from the very beginning. Here we are now, 150 episodes deep, and we find ourselves now trying to imagine life without the one whom we thought would always be there. None other than sweet, beautiful Dismas. No longer will we ever see his sweet smile, nor hear his crass taunts of nearly shooting somebody in the eyes, but unfortunately missing. We're on our own now. It's hard to imagine life without Dismas. I mean, it was bad enough when Renaud was taken from us before his time, but Dismas too? I just always assumed that there'd be one survivor.
Our land is remote and unneighbored. Every
Alas,
resource must be recovered.
It was too beautiful a dream
Gathered close
to
firelight.
be ours forever, I suppose.
Companionship.
All right. Well, let's just try and keep our chin up, find some way to soldier on here, and yeah, maybe one day we'll find another companion whom is as sweet and as charming and innocent as our dear departed Dismas. We can only hope, I suppose. Anyway, all right. So let's start thinking here about how we move forward. So, bandit sense or uncatchable? You know, it's so hard to decide between these two, but I feel like this particular party is pretty sensitive to its row, to its position. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with bandit sense. Again, I wish I had some way of quantifying the difference between the two, but I really don't, so it's just really going to have to be an estimate. But you see what I'm saying? Like, how I felt this particular party was very sensitive to row. I mean, this is a case in point right here. However, this is not exactly the most intimidating ambush, and I feel like we should be able to more or less mitigate whatever these things, whatever these particular monsters would dare do to us pretty early on. I can't anticipate this really dragging on too much longer, at least I hope. And, you know, if we end up getting rabies, like, no problem. That's kind of okay, and I would even dare say it's an ideal outcome. I don't know. It depends on who the lucky recipient of rabies is. Obviously, not Gand. We certainly don't want that. But if our Hellion winds up with it, or, you know, our Jester, our Highwayman, I think it would be alright. This, however, is dragging on far too long, and yeah, something like this really does lend itself to things going horribly wrong. Because, you know, one lucky crit, and all of a sudden now we are staring down the barrel of a pretty unfortunate situation. That wasn't a great start. I'm not really happy about that, but at the very least we did make our way through it, and now here we are, venturing forth on our own terms here in the highest level of light possible. This is a bit unusual. Honestly, I would, as weird as it sounds, I would actually like this Gladiator to go first, because if he moves forward, then we can get two with our Jester's AoE there in the middle. That said, I'm not going to go ahead and just permit that to happen. If I do have a stun here, I'm going to take that. No question. So here is the question. You like that segue? That was pretty good. Do I go after the Gladiator here? Or do I go after the more guaranteed kill? I think the Gladiator is the better choice. And I wasn't even anticipating getting one of those crits there to close it out that quickly, but I think this is good. Not great, but good. I think basically anyone has the ability to finish the Gladiator off, case in point, and now we're in really, really good shape. Because we can heal, yes, we do have a heal, oh, how about that, and then finally the Enchantress just bleeds out on the next turn, and that, I mean, this is fine too. I was hoping for a crit, obviously we didn't get one, but it's alright. That still went relatively well, and now, yeah, we venture forward basically having incurred no real harm in that encounter at all. Our last dungeon run, the one in which we lost, of course. Poor dear Dismas. I mean, that, yikes, it's a lot of obstacles. That obviously could have gone a lot better for us, but I mean, the writing was sort of on the wall there from the very get-go that things were going to be rough. I cannot believe the very last swing that the enemy took on, again, poor dear departed Dismas. I can't believe that was the killing blow. Like, that was what finished Dismas off. We had struggled valiantly to keep every party member off of death's door and fighting fit and just at least alive. You know, we didn't do a lot, but we at least stayed alive. And yeah, I just thought, you know, maybe we're gonna pull through. But the fact that there was like half the dungeon left, and on top of that, like, not only was there half the dungeon left, like, how do I put this? Half the dungeon left had no enemies in it. Like, that was it. It was our last encounter. We had nothing more that we needed to clear out. We were done. You know, it was basically the old buddy cop trope that we were 2 days from retirement, and we ended up taking a bullet to the chest. Like, how does that happen, man? I'm sorry. I'm gonna be salty about this for a while. I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna be venting, maybe more than you or I, either of us are really comfortable with here. I think we're probably okay to mess with this, so let's just try it. Reinvigorated. Some stress relief and no healing. I think the healing only comes from using the holy water there, but that's fine. It's going to be a little bit boring, but we do have to go all the way to the terminal here, or at least we will want to avoid stress of having to walk backwards. But yeah, we could find our our quest items here. I think since this is like fairly big, I think we do just go ahead and use these medicinal herbs just as a little bit of a safeguard to protect us if, you know, the worst should happen and we get like 3 hunger events backtracking. It could happen, man. It could absolutely happen. So we want to be prepared for it. The game has treated us, I'm gonna say, a little bit unfairly. This past mission, that's still fresh in my mind. So I want to make sure that we are absolutely 100% prepared in case the worst should occur. And honestly, I don't know what more the game could possibly do to wound me at this point. Like, having Dismas alive, like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going on this because I'm upset. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit upset. And okay, I know I have only myself to blame. Yes, I was the one who pushed the party. I was the one who decided, yeah, let's go ahead, we'll do one more. You know, everybody has like hit points. We should be fine. I know that. I own that. That was my fault. That was my bad. I get it. But come on, man. Like, having... What am I... Jeez Louise. Like, having your Dismas and your Ronald alive, like, that's kind of a point of pride among the Darkest Dungeon devotees, the Darkest Dungeon faithful. You know? Those were my OGs, man. I had them from the very beginning of the game, and I know I lost Ronald early. I lost him in like episode 20 or something like that. But Dismas was there. He was the Rock, man. Well, I mean, my other Hellion is the Rock, but he was always there. He was Mr. Reliable. You know? He's the regular customer. You know, if you ever worked at a restaurant or a cafe, you know, you have that one customer who's always going to be there, you know, every Saturday. Same seat, same order, and, you know, it's comforting to know that no matter what else happens in this crazy roller coaster we call life, there's that one iota of stability. There's that one person that you can depend on, that you know is always going to be there no matter what. And now that's gone. It's been taken from us. Our beloved Dismas is no more. And I don't quite know how to handle that. I'm still working it out. And I don't know if I'm ever going to have an answer, to be honest with you. You know? I don't know if I'm ever going to make peace with that, knowing that it was ultimately my decision that sent Dismas to his grave far too soon. I don't know if I can deal with that. How can you go on knowing that you doomed a good man through your inaction, your negligence? You know, we could have run. That was totally... That option was always on the table. We always had the chance... I did that. I used the wrong attack there. That option was always there for us. We always had the chance to run. And I didn't. I didn't. Am I a good person? Like, this is... I'm gonna be grappling for this. Am I a good person? You know, knowing that there was a chance, there was a very good chance that Dismas could die. That something could happen to him. No. Hey. Alright. Hey. Whoa. Okay. Alright. No. 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 No, 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 no. 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 Okay. Wait a minute. Hey, don't. Not again. Man, not again. No. Not again. It can't happen. No. Alright.
Push on to the task's end.
Whoa. Okay. Like, that would have been too much. I think that would have been it for me. If we lost another highwayman like that, I think I would have had to start Let's Playing a different game. That was too close. Wow. Alright. So what I'm taking from this is that I can't live in the past. You know, I can't be dredging up these old hurt feelings. That I have to be strong. I have to be strong. Why? Because there are 24 people on my roster who depend on me. I am their leader, right? And if I let my personal feelings about what happened to one of our number, if I let that affect my performance, people will die. And I have to understand that. I have to accept that it is not time to mourn, it's time to lead. And I'm going to show my competence as a leader. I'm going to show my panache, my flair, my leadership ability. I might have made a mistake. No. I'm going to show that I am a competent, proficient, adept, skillful, intelligent leader, and that, you know, we can rise to any challenge. We can overcome any obstacle as long as we're together. As long as, you know, I exhibit these, you know, the qualities of leadership that I should. This doesn't have to be, you know, this big, long, sad, terrible situation where, you know, we spend our entire time mourning the loss of a dead hero. Of course that's sad, but let me show you, I'm still competent. I'm still capable. I can lead this party. Give me the chance. Alright, so first off, yeah, we're just gonna take care of that. We don't need any more of this nonsense. Although I'd appreciate if this stopped as well. That would be great. That would make me really happy. But we're fine. We're fine. Watch this. Look at that. 10 points of bleed. Boom. Ya done. Alright, so now let's finish this out. I think... If she hits us again with that nonsense, we're probably going to be hurting for certain here. Although, a little bit of healing here, it feels pretty good too. Alright, we're going to chance it. We're going to play a little risky. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And look, she is right here in prime range. Although I don't think we push our... Holy smokes. I was going to say, I don't think we push our luck twice. But our luck pushed itself there. But that's fine. Look at us.
Be wary.
We're strong.
Triumphant pride precipitates.
We are proud. And look at this. We're going to do the whole dungeon to show that we're not scared. You know, we might face some adversity, we might face some challenges, but we are not scared, and we will not be pushed around and intimidated just because, you know, we had one bad mission. Right? Look at us. Look at this. It's going great. Look at all this loot we're pulling down. We're gonna crush this guy. I mean, watch this. Boom. Oof. That has got to hurt. Alright, that's fine. A little bit of damage. It's okay. We're not afraid of that. See? This is what happens when you show good leadership skills. You have heroes who rise to the challenge, who are not, you know, who they reflect the best in you, right? They exhibit the best qualities of the leader. Because really, I mean, think about it. A leader and his teammate, a leader and his followers, they are, you know, they're two parts of the same whole. They reflect one another. So, you know, this boldness, this enthusiasm, this zeal for the thrill of the hunt, like, that's going to be magnified here in my party. All I have to do is just step up and confidently lead like I know I'm capable of doing, right? Easy. So just watch this. Watch this. Alright. So we are here in the home stretch, right? I can't imagine there's too much more. Now, if we do get to a situation where, like, there's basically, like, nothing more that we can do because, like, our bag's full, obviously we're gonna go. Because, I mean, there's pushing onward for... I think we can ditch this. Pushing onward for treasure, for glory. You know, of course, that's something that we, as the heroes, oh my god, as the protagonists of this game, this is, you know, this is our calling. This is what we do. But just, you know, just fighting for the sake of fighting. There's being greedy, and then there's just being foolish. So, obviously, if we max out our inventory, that's it. We're gonna hightail it out of here, and I think feel good about what we've done. You know, our finances have been dwindling. These have been lean times for us. You know, no two ways about that. I probably should have even yupped here. I think it's okay. But these have been lean times for us. You know, no two ways about it. This has been... We've had to kind of scrimp and save. We've had to sell the family silver, but this is, you know, this is an opportunity for us to kind of, oh no, oh dear, okay, all right, well, let's see, okay, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more, and then we're probably gonna get out, because you remember what I said about, you know, the difference between being thorough, being aggressive, and being like just foolish. Yeah, I don't think we need to really. I don't think we need to really keep risking that. All right, let's see. Does anybody? No, nobody's bleeding. All right. Yeah, we're gonna do one more because it does say that there's just two more rooms. There's just two more rooms, guys.
The light.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go for it. Okay. Alright, well that's good at least. We're gonna wanna be pretty careful here. Okay. So, how do we do this? Well, that's a good start, but that tree branch smackdown, you need to shut up. That tree branch smackdown does have the potential to really hurt us. We need to be careful. I don't know if you saw the episode entitled Tree Branch Smackdown, but that was, I would say, a pretty major plot point of said episode. And okay, I'm kind of thinking that we're getting past the break-even point, and Enterprise is beginning to dip into loss. So, yeah, perhaps we need to start thinking about moseying along here. Yes, that would be helpful. Yes. All right, but I mean, these two are now well within range. We should be able to take them down no problem. And you know what? I think we even... Nah. I'm feeling confident. We're gonna finish strong, even though her Jibberjawn has stressed out the party a fair deal. No problem. Look at this. We're fine. Oh my goodness. We're okay. Let's see here. I mean, let's just see, right? What's the harm in just checking it out, right? We're building this narrative that we're gaining our confidence back. This is Rocky, you know, Rocky, spoilers, gets his bottom kicked at the start of Rocky 2. I mean, he just gets a whooping put on him. He takes a real bad beating, and he's kind of lost his nerve. And so how does he keep going? How does he soldier on? Well, life, as they say, is all about the plan B. And in Rocky's case, the plan B is to find sort of this reserve of inner strength that he didn't know that he had, to train, to push himself harder than he'd ever pushed himself before. And, you know, what happens at the end of Rocky 2? He wins. He becomes the champion. He overcomes this this opponent who had been who he had thus far been unable to beat. It's exciting, it's compelling, it's, you know, great drama. So why not have that be sort of the narrative of our own lives, right? That even though things didn't exactly break our way, that's okay, you know? That's fine. We're gonna train. We're gonna push ourselves. We're gonna push ourselves farther than we ever thought possible. And we do that how? We do that by showing the game we're not afraid. No matter what you throw at us, we're not afraid. We can overcome it, right? I feel like that's pretty inspirational, honestly. I feel like, oh no. I feel like a lot of people could learn from me. See? And it turns out, you know, after all this way, we had nothing to fear after all. So, there you go. There you have it. Dismas is gone. He's dead. He's never coming back. But we found the inner strength. We found the strength within ourselves to soldier on, to push ourselves, to not give in to fear and anxiety, because there's a little Dismas in all of us, isn't there?
In the sunken faces of passers-by.
Think about that.
A glimmer of hope.
There's a little Dismas in all of us. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.